Hello there guys, it's Captain Invisible here and welcome to a Medieval 2 Total War Battle replay. I'm going to be observing this replay, which was sent in by paladinbob from atop this nice little tower. As you can see from up here, I can see pretty much the entire battlefield, although I'm not too keen on the old Christian cross graffiti there. It kind of ruins the tower, but anyway, no, we're going to watch this battle from the nitty-gritty dirty side of it, up close to the troops, and yeah, it does turn into quite a big mosh pit battle, so I'm going to look forward to showing you some nice close-ups of this battle. So, as I said, this replay was sent in by paladinbob, who is playing as France, and his ally is the Pirate of Jamaica, playing as Sicily, and they will be defending this single layer castle settlement against 3 attacking opponents. The first is tchada, I believe it's meant to be pronounced. I think the T is silent, so yeah, tchada, playing as England. On this side, looks like we've got a lot of siege equipment to lay siege to the walls, so that's always good. Over here we've got Timbo X playing as the Byzantine Empire. So always nice to see the Byzantines in a siege. They do bring some quite nice units to sieges. And then we've got Delores playing as Denmark. And as usual, Denmark can bring quite a lot of options for infantry, so that'll be good to see. So let's go over armies really quickly, starting with paladinbob's army. Over in this corner, he's got a unit of peasants, which are going to switch on some powers to shoot at the enemy. Then over down here, he's got 2 units of crossbowmen to shoot up at the walls, so nice cheap missile unit there. He's got 2 units of Scots Guard here, which are going to again be firing up at the walls and just harass the enemy. The Scots Guard being really good in melee as well, really good in sieges for France. Then he's got some dismounted feudal knights on the walls just to help stop the Danish player. He's got some chivalric knights on this section of the wall, and some Scots Guards defending the gatehouse. Some more dismounted feudal knights, some more dismounted chivalric knights, and some more feudal knights down this side, so a lot of feudal knights and chivalric knights. Another unit of crossbowmen just there in that corner. Defending the gate, he's got what looks like 2 units of pike militia, and defending their flanks 2 units of sergeant spearmen. And then in the town centre, he's got 2 units of chivalric knights, one being his general's bodyguard with his general in, and another unit of pike militia. So I think that's everything for paladinbob. Let's go over the Pirate of Jamaica's army. So starting at this side again, he's got a unit of Norman Knights, 2 units of Norman Knights on the walls. He's got 4 units of Pavis crossbowmen laid out here just to fire over the walls and fire up at them when the enemy land their siege towers. He's got some infantry down here, some dismounted broken lancers, just helping paladinbob defend the gate. He's got some more units of dismounted Norman Knights on the walls, and he's got some sword and buckler men at this side ready to face England, should I say. Yeah, it'd be funny if he was facing France, because France is already on the wall, so that kind of defeats the is defeated there, because France is already inside. And then he's got 2 units of male knights, cavalry, and a general's bodyguard. So quite a sort of nice selection of cavalry, nothing too extreme. So we'll go have a look at England's army to start with. So England has brought 4 units of Sherwood archers, really nice archers, really good missile and melee capable stats. He's got 2 units of dismounted English knights in all their poleaxe glory. If he didn't have if it wasn't a 2-handed bug, these guys would be really deadly. I'd love playing with those guys, but unfortunately, two-handed bug ruins that. Then he's got, I think, about 4 units of armoured swordsmen here, and then he's got some dismounted feudal knights, and he's got another unit of armoured swordsmen, so quite a nice selection of infantry there. And then he's got a unit of heavy billmen, or heavy bill militia, which was probably just to make up cost. He probably just threw it in just to make up cost, because, I mean, it's good for the price, but it's not a great unit, due to the 2-handed glitch itself as well. But yeah, nice selection of core infantry there. And his general is in a Knights Templar unit. So a very nice army from England. I did think it was one of the better armies the attackers brought. Speaking of the other attackers, we've got Timbo X playing as the Byzantines. Timbo X is a fellow YouTuber. He's got his own channel, and paladinbob wanted me to link it into my description, which I'll be more than happy to do, because YouTubers put a lot of effort into their videos, and I think the more people that view their videos, the more they'll be able to do. The more they appreciate your support. So go and support both paladinbob and Timbo X. I'll put both their channels in my description of this video. So he's brought 2 units of Latincon with some ladders over at this side, and one of them's got heavy upgrades on it. He's got 3 units of peasants, 2 are controlling rams, which is always a good idea, just a throwaway unit to control some rams. 3 units of Trebizond archers, just to provide some missile support. Then he's got 4 units of heavily upgraded Varangian Guard. The Varangian Guard, unfortunately, being a 2-handed unit, do suffer from the bug, but they are still a very capable infantry and really, really powerful. I wouldn't have put upgrades on them personally, because their morale and stats are already quite high. He could have spent money elsewhere, but these guys are going to be quite deadly with those upgrades on them. And then he's got 3 units of the Cataphractoi heavy cav for the Byzantines. 3 units is about all you want to bring of cav, just to help defend your army as it's moving forward. But he has heavily upgraded these guys as well, which again I think is a big mistake, considering the amount of money he's put into them. He could have brought some more infantry. If he would have brought the Byzantine dismounted Byzantine lancers or the Byzantine infantry, I could see why he would want to upgrade those, because their morale is quite poor. But for those elite infantry and cavalry, it's usually not worth it. So we'll take a look at deloresjhill's army. Not quite sure about the name. We'll try to avoid any gender speculation there. So Delores has brought a unit of Knights Templar, a unit of Chivalric Knights, and a unit of Knights Hospitaller on this flank. And then 3 units of the Housecarls cavalry units, and then another unit of Knights Templar. So quite a lot of cavalry, quite a lot more than I would personally want to bring. As I say, the max you ever want to bring is 3, and even then that's under risk that the enemy. You really want to just focus on infantry, and I'm afraid Denmark looks like he's spent quite a lot on his cavalry, which he's gonna suffer in terms of infantry. So for infantry, he's got a unit of Obershire, a pretty cool looking unit, but not very cost effective. They cost like 700 odd gold, and they're not going to be that effective in melee, unfortunately. They'll be pretty good against cavalry, but yeah, other than that, they're not very cost effective there. Some Viking raiders, he's got a couple of those, nice cheap infantry, really good for the price. Some sword staff militia, again, suffer from the two-handed bug, and they don't do as well as the Obershire. They're both pretty weak infantry units, but with the right support, they can hold off enemies, but just not kill a lot. He's got some Norse axemen here. Norse axemen suffer from the two-handed glitch as well, so even though they're very capable, the two-handed glitch makes them weak against sword units. He's got some dismounted housecarls here, some Norse swordsmen, more Viking raiders, more Norse axemen, some Norse swordsmen, two more units of those, some dismounted housecarls, some more sword staff militia, and some Viking raiders. So the Viking raiders and the Norse swordsmen are pretty cheap, nice cheap infantry, and the dismounted housecarls bring a nice effective infantry unit to the battle, but other than that, the rest of his infantry is a bit on the weak side due to bugs and various other problems they suffer. They're basically overpriced and not very good for what they cost. I personally would have brought either some feudal knights or some chivalric knights just to add bulk. You use your Norse swordsmen and your Viking raiders to add bulk to the army, bulk to the infantry, and then you use a heavy core of dismounted chivalric knights or dismounted feudal knights to really apply the elite pressure infantry to the army. So those are the armies, so we shall begin this battle, and I'll begin by saying that I did record this earlier, but unfortunately my voice on it was really quiet, and really quiet, I could barely hear myself, so if it's the same with this video, I'll have to redo it, but as I say, I've pretty much watched it, so I know exactly what's going to happen. But as I say, I did record it the first time without seeing what happened, so yeah, it was more sort of spontaneous commentary, so I apologise that I couldn't do this one blind after that, but it was back to happen. I've got a new mic recently, so it's just testing it and getting used to being played, so yeah, I apologise for that. So we've got the peasants moving up with the ram. They want to get it to the gate as quickly as possible. We've also got siege towers moving up to a position on the walls, and we've got some ladders going in. In my experience, ladders are usually best for getting up to the walls quickly, and then siege towers to support. But unfortunately, you don't want this to happen where your ladders are moving up too quickly and the siege towers are lagging behind, because that will cause problems for your men. And it looks like these guys were lagging behind. They didn't want to be too close to the towers and the walls.
Our enemy's ladders have reached the walls.
It's
time for butcher's work
as it's been put up. It looks like Sicily may have come out of the gate to try and attack the ram, because the peasants and the cattle factory managed to break through and get into
the enemy
the
siege towers reach the walls.
Let
the enemy have ladders at the walls. Repel the attackers. Give them steel.
Obviously not, and these peasants are routing.
Bonjour, Sandy. The enemy siege tower is now destroyed.
So Byzantines are losing siege towers. They didn't bring enough siege towers to really afford to lose any, so it's a really big problem there. But as you can see, Denmark's side is completely undefended, so Denmark is going to be free to enter the castle and really put pressure on the French and Sicilian forces.
Our cunning foes reach our walls with their siege tower.
It looks
We
like
must repel the invaders.
Sicily and France are just defending
The enemy have
these
ladders
two
at the
sides,
walls. Repel the attackers.
and just,
Give them steel.
just focusing over at this side. I forgot to mention, guys, that the money was 25 the attackers got a lot more money than the defenders, but at the cost of not being able to bring artillery and cannons and trenches and things. So they're going to be the attackers are going to be
the enemy siege towers reach the walls.
Advantage,
Let
but
courage and skill at arms lead our way.
in terms of not being able to bring artillery, but it'll make for a quick battle. These battles always start fairly quickly when the attackers get the artillery. So we've got England moving up, and he's got all his siege towers in position, and he's going to flood his men onto the walls. Byzantines have been forced to complete the gates and knock these pikemen, which are just repositioning their ranks. Paladinbob is pretty good with pikemen, knows how to combine them quite well, so you're going to see these pikemen really withstand
the enemy have ladders at the walls. Repel the attackers.
Very nice.
Give them steel.
The Swiss pikemen would be absolutely deadly in this position. They are pretty deadly troops. They have like 15 melee attack, which, with their pikes just absolutely grind down the enemy.
The enemy have ladders at the walls. Repel the attackers. Give them steel.
So this Pirate of Jamaica is trying to do some cavalry strikes on these infantry units, but they're in such a blocky formation, and the streets are stopping his cavalry from really doing any damage. They're not being able to get the charge off very well. England's finally entered the walls, and he's going to flood his men into the walls here. He's getting bottlenecked in some places, but he will be pushing on and really putting the sword to these French troops. Although I think these English dismounted field knights are outmatched by these French ones. For some reason the French dismounted field knights are better than other dismounted field knights. I don't understand it, but I have done tests and they do actually last quite a long time. Especially against fast running units like conquistadors and things, so I honestly don't know. I'm not an expert on field knights, although I should be, because field knights are awesome. So yeah, Denmark's just flooding more of his men into the castle. He wants to get as many men in as possible. He's got some Viking raiders moving around this side, hoping to maybe flank the enemy and then pin them in from this side. England's done well to, as I say, spread his men across the walls. He's doing better in some locations, and he might be struggling here because of these French field knights on his flank. But down this side he's managed to get a breakthrough, and these Northern Knights just weren't able to stop him. And although the French have these Scots Guard fire on his flanks, which would be absolutely brutal, he's going to be able to get his men down off the walls and really attack these well men. So it looks like the Byzantine assault is wavering. The Rendered Guard just could not pierce this pikeman unit, and it looks like the dismounted Latin corner finally broken from the walls. Well, in fact, that's some Rendered Guard, but the Latin con came up these ladders and just couldn't affect anything on the walls. So it was a big loss for them there. But yeah, we've got a lot of dead Byzantine infantry here. The French guard, as I say, just couldn't pierce these pikemen. And now paladinbob's gonna... Sorry for the cut.
Badly blotted.
What I was
they
saying
have lost
was,
half their men.
paladinbob's moving his pikemen to face the English, which are now breaking through the walls. Scots down or he managed to break them. Oh wow, we've got
only
another,
half the enemy
English,
force remains.
English infantry breaking here. Probably due to the support now of these broken lances, and he's got some
the enemy siege tower is kindling now. Pay attention,
them.
for they may try another trick.
Yeah, we've got a huge rout going there. I think the towers must have been affecting the battle as well. So the Scots Guard really have halted that English advance, and the rest of the English lines, there just wasn't enough troops to pierce these French feudal knights.
The enemy have ladders at the walls. Repel the attackers. Give them steel.
This was the main English push, and it's faltered. There's just too many units in support on his flank. Just look at all the carnage outside the gatehouse. This gatehouse really is not the best one to attack. There's all these towers. You want to attack right here. Right here is the best place to attack, and along this wall, as you saw from England's attack. Maybe this one could be. This one could be quite easy as well. This side, as Denmark's managed to just completely rush through onto the walls. But as I say, this gatehouse is just death. There's no assaulting that and getting away with it. So yeah, in terms of troops left, the Byzantines have a few infantry units, including this guard, which I think is a general. I think this was the Byzantine Ah, there it is, yeah. General, making one final push. The English only have these Sherwood archers and the Knights Hospitaller. Looks like Sicily's gone out of the castle to try and harass maybe some of the missile units. Byzantines also have these archers just positioned here. And look at this horde of cavalry. All of Denmark's cavalry and the Byzantine cavalry. Together I think there's about 10 units of cavalry here, which is just such a waste because they won't be able to affect anything in this battle because there is only one entrance point, and that's the gatehouse, and it's currently defended by pikemen, so this cavalry is going to die very quickly. But they're going to try nonetheless. I think they're just positioning. Yeah, it's all they can do because they've lost all their infantry. England's armies are currently routing and regrouping. And Denmark's the only one with all the infantry, and its infantry is not actually routing on the walls. These sword staff militia, which are usually best on flat ground, trying to fight these dismounted feudal knights in melee on the walls, so they're not going to be in the best position to revive. They're going to put down. On the other side as well, best used on the ground down here to push into enemy formations and use those anti-piercing weapons to affect battles or to block off streets. You know, they could block off this street whilst the main infantry engages. But Denmark's going to position all his infantry here to try and force his way through this non-knight unit, which is going to stand here and defend this choke point and you'll see very quickly why this is a terrible idea for them.
We are underdog!
The
enemy general flees like the coward he is.
Marched into these Northern Knights.
Our men have captured the enemy general. Guard him well and make it so he can see us defeat the rest of his army.
So that was the death of the Byzantine general up here. It was unfortunate of him to die like that. It was that England's trying to chase off these male knights, try to get rid of them. He should do well at getting rid of those knights. I think they were harassing the enemy, the Byzantine missile units. It looks like the Byzantine cavalry is going to push in. It's going to try to get past these pikemen. It's a really terrible position for but you'll see very slowly that the simple mass of all this cavalry, including the we're just going to be able to push through these pikemen and push into the castle. Pirate of Jamaica is trying to send some reinforcements to try and block the gate, but all this cavalry is just going to be just basically bludgeoning its way through these pikemen, through these lances. So yeah, there's a big mess of massive cavalry in this vicinity, trying to push through all these infantry units. It's not going to be able to do too well in that engagement. Here, these Norman Knights are holding back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 units of infantry. And these guys back here, as you can see them sort of in these positions and even fighting, these guys are just tiring themselves out, just standing back here.
The battle is very much in our favour. If we remain true and steadfast, victory will be ours.
Holding off 7 units of infantry. This is a position you do not want your infantry to be in, especially with the towers, especially with enemies on the walls that could flank, and especially with crossbowmen behind.
They have lost half their men.
Units behind as well. This attack from Denmark was a pretty reckless one, and as you can see, his men are just going to get tired out, just moving around, doing nothing. You'll see these guys get winded very quickly from this, and he's not going to be able to push. I mean, he's killing them.
Très bien. The enemy general lies dead. We have sent the cur to hell.
He's killing these Norman Knights, but he's not killing them fast enough. We've still got 31 men, and they're just holding off all these infantry units and allowing these units to now flank. And the route's going to continue, and it's just going to start as a little trickle with a couple of units, and it's going to turn into a massive flood of routing Danish troops. So we'll come back to that. The cavalry has finally been crowded. All these cavalry units are going to start to rout and get destroyed by these pikemen and dismounted broken lances. I'll show you the massive bodies when that clears. But yeah, these sandwich troops are getting tired, winded whilst not fighting these guys back here. He's got attack odds on them, but they're not getting close enough to the enemy, and it's because there's so many bodies in front of them. With the death of the general and these low quality infantry units like the North Swordsmen and the Viking Raiders, along with more support from the Pirate of Jamaica, it's just going to be too much for these troops to manage.
Our men have captured the enemy general.
That looks like
guard him well and make it so he can see us defeat the rest of his army.
I think they tried another push, but as you can see from all the cavalry bodies, there's just no way they can push through this. The pikemen and the heavy infantry have managed to hold this gate really well. And here we are, the towers and the massive infantry and the flanking infantry have finally managed to rout this Danish force. Yeah, the morale just could not hold up to the towers and the being outflanked, and there's probably some fire arrows coming in and some crossbow bolts from over this way, so yeah, Denmark shouldn't have lobbed all his troops up, but he had the right idea of positioning infantry units, but as I say, you need a high quality top to your army, otherwise you're going to suffer in terms of trying to fight these heavier infantry like the
Our cowardly
chivalric
foe
knights.
runs. We must
And
push our advantage.
Cavalry just can't take that position. He had way too much cavalry, and it's costed them the battle. Here's the massive cavalry. Kills wise, we won't get to see their kills, the cavalry kills, but I can't imagine they got any more than 30, 35. And that would have been the Cataphractoi. The Danish cav probably did even worse, because Cataphractoi are slightly better than Hospitallers and Templars. So the last remaining Danish troops got fired bravely, but the fighting was just a good way to stand up to feudal knights in any sense of the word. You can see by the bodies that most of the kills are actually back here in the centre, where the towers were firing at them. They did actually, well, except for the massive Viking raider bodies. Actually, these Norman knights did really well, actually. Yeah, Viking raiders, unless you upgrade them or you give them support, they're basically a filler unit. They are nice and cheap and can fill the ranks, and they have armor-piercing axes and low defences, so...
The enemy are utterly vanquished! This is a great victory, worthy of only the mightiest of generals!
Yeah, an interesting battle, really well fought, as you can see by the results. Certainly it was a dominating victory by paladinbob and Pirate of Jamaica. I've got no doubt that these players are decent enough players, but it's just they brought completely the wrong armies to this siege. So kills wise, paladinbob getting the most kills, 1,512 kills with 176 captures. That is a ridiculous amount of kills. And it's not, the funny thing is, it's not like he carried his team, because the Pirate of Jamaica are getting 925 kills and then 5 captures. That's still a really good score there of kills. So between them, they got so many kills on these on their enemies, and it's simply because, as I say, positioning and army choices. Their armies were just more suited with heavy infantry to be able to take these guys on. So Timbo X got 327 kills. Not great for a siege. You want to be getting at least over 500 to be affecting anything. But as you can see, all the players didn't do too well. Tchada getting 369 kills with 3 captures, and deloresjhill getting 298 kills with 0 captures. So yeah, you want to be getting the amount of kills that these guys got all together to be doing really well in a siege. And I'm not saying they're bad players at all. It might just be that they don't play siege very well. Don't play siege as often as certainly paladinbob does. But yeah, they just brought the wrong armies. My advice would be to well, I mean, England brought quite a nice army. If you want to see what an attacking army should look like, England's was quite a respectable army. The problem was the Byzantines and the Danish, the Denmark player, just did not bring enough infantry. The Byzantines brought too few infantry and brought elite infantry, and Denmark brought too many weak infantry and not enough heavy core infantry, and way too much cav. There was just way too much cav for this kind of siege. Especially in a no artillery siege, you're going to have to come through this gate right here. And as I said before, this is a death trap with all the towers, and the enemy can just block this gate with spearmen and pikemen, and it's just going to kill your cav doing that. So yeah, in no artillery sieges, don't bring as much cav. You want to bring two or three max, and you don't even want them to be heavy, super heavy cav like the Cataphractoi. You just want nice, cheap cav to be able to stop the enemy from rushing out and destroying your infantry whilst you're moving up with towers. That's all you need your cav for, and nothing else. So a great game by all players. As I say, I'll put Timbo X's and paladinbob's YouTube channels in my description if you want to check those out. And if you ever want a battle similar to this with me, 25k against 40k for the attackers with no artillery as the rules, then please message me, because I'll be interested in doing a battle like this, seeing if I can defend with 25k's worth of money against a massive 40k horde from the enemy. So yeah, it'll be fun. I definitely encourage you guys to look into that, because sieges with no artillery are really fun as well, really quick and just really a lot of fun. So thank you very much for watching, guys. Don't forget to rate, comment and subscribe. And if this recording goes well, then I'll obviously be posting it up. If not, I'll have to try again and mess with my microphone settings or something. So yeah, thank you very much for watching, guys, and I shall see you on the next battlefield.